February of 2009.
Apparently, I think it was her birthday that day.
I was friends with his sister Becca for a couple years before I even knew that he existed. So she invited me and my friend Caitlin to come over to her parents' house that night. And so I got there and I walk inside and I'm like dressed all cute with my little cardigan and like ready to hang out with my girls.
Being down in my basement, I had some speakers set up and I was kind of playing some games and had some friends over and playing music really loud. And
so I just hear all this like booming, loud music, lights are going everywhere, and I was like, what is going on?
My sisters were going crazy and dancing and doing all this weird stuff. And Kelly comes down.
And so I opened up the basement door and I walked downstairs, and Becca and her friend Allie were like dancing all around and like going crazy, and Blaine was like, I didn't know who he was yet, but he was with, I think, Shelby and maybe some other friends, and they were like off in the corner like DJing all this music, and there's just lights everywhere and it's really loud, and I was like overwhelmed, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is really uncomfortable.
And she came down and I just thought she was amazing.
Because I'm kind of shy and I'm like not a dancer or anything, so they're like, come on, like take off your cardigan, start to dance.
Because she wasn't doing anything that my sisters were doing, or their friends, and was dressed modestly. I just said, hey, you know, asked her some really stupid stuff.
Eventually, Blaine came over to me with a can of Dr. Pepper Cherry, and I had never had it before, and he comes and he's like, hey, have you ever had this kind of soda before? And I was like, no. And he's like, well here, take a sip and let me know what you think. And so I took it and I was taking a sip, and the whole time he's just looking at me like, you know, like, what do you think? And so I took a sip and I'm like, and he's like, well, what did you think? Doesn't it go down amazingly smooth? And I was like, sure, I guess so. And he's like, well, here, it says so right on the can. Goes down amazingly smooth.
I think the first thing I said to her was Dr. Pepper Cherry, and talked to her about that, and how awesome it was, and how smooth it went down.
And like, the whole time I was thinking he was like such a dork, but it was just really cute and funny.
But hey, it got her attention in work, because we're getting married tomorrow, so she says it's stupid, but it worked.
I didn't really talk to him after that until later in the summer. I think it was in June of 2009. I saw him again here at his parents' house for his sister Brandon's graduation party. And then I really started to talk to him more in July of 2009 when we talked about going skating together. Becca had mentioned that to me. And so he got my phone number through trying to set that up, and we just started texting and talking and went on our first date on July 31st, 2009, and our first date was like 11 and a half hours long. We just went so many different places. We went to Gretna, the Drinker Shop, and we went to my parents' house. He took me driving around different places. We went to high sports and did miniature golfing. We just did so many different things, and it was so much fun. And then exactly a week later from that, we technically started dating on August 6th of 2009.